Here is a manager that's coming in and he doesn't have Premier League experience.
It does smack of somebody clearing out his office and finding his ideas from 6 months ago.
He knows his priority is to keep us in the Premier League.
After the Spurs fans went medieval on Thomas Frank, we're now going to enter our Tudor era. This is the Crowing Cockerel podcast. So, Igor Tudor has come in on a short-term contract. He's only going to be here till the end of the season. He's the absolute definition of an interim coach. Didn't see this coming. Did you see this coming, Mark? I know that you're an expert in these things.
I don't think anyone saw it coming. I mean, we looked at the bookies' favourites, and his name was not on the list. And bearing in mind some of the names that were on the list, his name was not on the list, and completely left field. So it's definitely a roll of the dice, definitely a gamble. But my take on it is that I have to trust the people that have made that decision. You know, that they've got a lot more knowledge about him than certainly me, and probably 99% of the people that I've heard commenting about it this last few days. And let's hope it's an appointment that works.
I mean, I agree, Mark. I've got to say, though, that when you look at all of the people that were on that list, there weren't many that I was getting excited about.
No,
And
no.
like we said in the last pod, I was really keen on getting someone who you could trust to do a job. And I think De Zerbi came up. But I don't think anybody thought he would be taking sort of a part-time punt. That's someone who wants a full-time position. And I think most of us thought that any manager with any experience, with any clout, would probably pass on taking a part-time job for a team that is fighting relegation. But I have to say, looking at this appointment and looking at what I've been reading online about his approach, his style of play, the way he interacts with the players, he seems to have a bit of a reputation for going in to places and getting a reaction. I suppose there is that sort of concern that, okay, so he hasn't sort of had an absolutely stellar managerial career. But on the flip side, who else could we get? It almost feels like the perfect fit. He wasn't in work. He wants a stab at the Premier League. It is only interim. He's got some sort of pedigree working at some big clubs. I mean, Juventus, Lazio, Marseille. So I kind of feel like it was probably the best option. And why we didn't see it, or why it wasn't one of the names, I don't know. Look, I'm definitely happier with this than I am with, Sherwood, Redknapp, Mason.
Yeah, for sure. It's strange that he seems to have kind of developed a strange niche almost. He's
Yes.
like a Croatian Sam Allardyce, very much
yeah.
kind of works on the short term. And I think what I did like is that it's very clear what the agenda is. It's a short-term contract, and so there's no kind of conflict in anything that he's going to do. He knows his priority is to keep us in the Premier League. And just harking back to something you said in midweek, Graham, I wonder what he'll do in the Champions League, because that is not going to be a priority. Like the contract is keep us in the Premier League, and that's all that matters. 12 games, done, bosh, see you later. So it'll be interesting what his approach is with that as well, I think.
I'm very, very impressed with your ability to trust in the board's decision, because Paratici has obviously had very close links with Juventus for a long, long time. Possibly the best business we've done is through his contacts with Juventus. It does smack of somebody clearing out his office and finding his ideas from 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And just fishing that name out. And fortunately, he'd left Juventus after did a good job at the end of last season, really on a an interim basis again, but was given a contract because they had the Club World Cup and went into the new Serie A season, but left after not winning in 8 games. And that's been thrown around quite a lot, that he hadn't won in his last 8 games with Juventus. But if you look at the like-for-like positions that he's had, where he's gone into clubs to get quick results over a short period of time, Juventus, he got them back into the Champions League, which was absolutely vital for them because if they didn't, financially, it would be a disaster. He kept Udinese up, I think it
Udinese,
was.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He kept Lazio in the position that they want to be. And
In the
and
European places, yeah.
importantly, he's gone into these and his first 10-game record, which is all that we care about, is really, really
Yeah.
good. He obviously he's a firefighter, but he lights fires up players' backsides and gets them playing. And then it seems to peter out, which again, I'm not sure we care about. We just need 4 to 5 wins. And then, to be honest, he can toddle off, can't he? I think the danger is that we get too excited if he gets 4 to 5 wins out of the first 6 games. And then because I don't think he's a good appointment long term.
Oh, I don't think, but this is what I meant by the fact that it's been made very clear that it is a short-term agenda. I don't think, even if he wins all 12 games, I don't think he will be considered. I just don't think that is what he does.
It seems like what we said in the last pod, whether it's a
Yeah, it's got to be Poch.
right decision, long-term decision, it's gonna be Pochettino coming back.
Has
and,
to
and
be.
it's all set up for that as well.
Yeah, and even in his statement, he was saying, "I understand the responsibility. My remit is clear. I'm here to get results and sort of change the performances and the points tally, and that's great. And it's been such a car crash of late that I don't know. When the news came out, it did seem to feel like that there was there was a sort of a sense of calm that actually it was done quickly, and we got a recognised manager. I mean, there were a few sort of vocal voices. I mean, did we all see the Teddy Sheringham
Yeah,
bit where he was, and he did make one good point. He was slightly ranty, but the one good point he made was, here is a manager that's coming in, and he doesn't have Premier League experience. But to be fair, of the options that were available to us,
Tom, that's an easy bat away, isn't it? Thomas Frank had 315 games in the Premier League.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and and
So
and, and of the ones that we had options to go for, I don't think any of us were all that keen, or they just
yeah,
weren't available. So
yeah.
I get his point, and it's salient, but actually, at the end of the day, as you say, Graham, if he can come in and have the same impact, I've seen people sort of using the term, "He's coming in, he needs to give Spurs an electric shock." Well, I think we all agree that's exactly what we need, given where we've been.
We keep going back to the fact that, the reality is that we are not 10 points off safety and he needs to win 10 out of the last 12 games. The reality is he just needs to win 4 to 5 of these games. That's all he needs to do. The expectation isn't that he needs to do any more than that. And his win percentage is well within line to do that. His win percentage in his first 10 games is significantly above what he needs to do that. My concern is that the way he plays and how he's gonna do that with the fit players. With the squad we've got, I think it's a really good fit, but with the fit
yeah.
players, it's one of these again,
It
isn't it?
seems to require a lot of centre backs that we don't have.
Yeah, playing a back three with 2 fit centre backs or 2 available centre backs for the next 3 games is gonna be interesting, isn't it?
To be fair, you say that though. Obviously, we do have. Oh no, we don't do it because Romero's suspended. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but when he comes back, actually having him, Van der Ven, and then Dragishin in there, I think will help Dragishin. I don't particularly trust him in a two. I think he's far better as a head it, kick it type of defender as part of a three. And you've got Paulinho that's dropped in as well into that centre
Absolutely.
back position. So I think it's doable. And like we were saying, obviously we've got the North London derby coming up, but then after that, we've got some winnable games. It is the perfect time to be coming in. Really, the Arsenal game's a free hit. No one expects
For
us to
all,
win.
all, all we want is a really good performance. Snatching a draw will be hilarious, and it would just be brilliant, wouldn't it? A win.
Just a bit of heart and desire. That's all we want. Just a bit. If you think about the previous, the Chelsea and the Arsenal game that happened earlier on in this season, that was just a complete whimper of a performance. You just want to see a bit of effort to make it look like a derby, don't you?
Yeah, and look, I'm on the I'm not even having that much expectation with the Arsenal game. I'm not even particularly expecting a performance, just something which is definitively different and more progressive than what Frank was doing will give me a little bit of hope, because I think we're all sort of, we're all slightly worried about the way the North London derby could go, um, and nobody's expecting miracles, especially with all the injuries we've got. So for us to get anything out of that game would be amazing, but to get anything out of that game with something which is, the mirror image of what Frank was doing to us, because let's face it, that's what got us in this situation in the first place. And uh, and yeah, I'm enthused by the high energy, attacking sort of thrust that he seems to favour. Um, we have got to be careful, we can't be, we can't sort of revert to sort of Ange Ball-esque tactics here, because we are still in trouble, and we don't have the cover at the back. But it has to get better. The way Frank had us playing and lined up, you could see the players weren't invested, and that's one thing I think will happen really quickly. You've got to think that the players will at least feel like this change is beneficial, because since Thomas Frank sacking, I don't know about you guys, but all I've heard are these little snipes and gripes coming out of the dressing room now that things weren't good for quite a long time.
Well, what's been really interesting is that the lack of noise that you've actually heard from inside the dressing room. I mean, I think there's only been what, 2 or 3 responses from
Absolutely.
the players to his
3, as
sacking.
far as I know.
Yeah.
I
3.
mean, yeah, I mean, the silence is deafening, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just shows when you compare that to Ange, and players were falling over themselves to comment and say how much he was going to be missed and all that. Like, it just shows the relationship that Thomas Frank didn't manage to kind of build with the players, and that's obviously contributed to what's been going on this season.
So now the players have, it sounds like the players have got their way. They didn't buy into him. They didn't want to play for him. He's gone. Now they need to turn up. Now they need to put, like, absolutely their, you know, lives on the line for the club until the end of the season, and actually show that the reason they didn't want Frank is because they didn't think he was good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. Not
Mm.
that he was trying to get them to do things that they were a bit uncomfortable with or just were too lazy to do. So they need to turn up now as well. So yeah, an interesting switch, isn't he? Because apparently he's quite abrasive and he doesn't take any nonsense. So let's see how that bears out. So I think that's probably a good opportunity to move straight into the predictions then for the North London derby next Sunday.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the. Obviously, we've had one game which we've actually not talked about, and that's probably best because it was absolutely diabolical. Although, of course, it did bring about Thomas Frank's sacking, so that is a silver lining. But the Newcastle game, which we lost, and I'm happy to say that my negativity proved fruitful. I predicted a 2-1 defeat, so I get 2 points for that. So Graham's still languishing behind on 19. I'm up to 25, and Tom just the 9 points clear with 34 now.
Hoping I'm going to give some more positive predictions as we go forward. Maybe not this week.
Yeah, exactly. So North London derby time. It's the one we always look out for before the season starts. It's here. Arsenal, obviously, top of the league. Are we going to be able to put another dent in their title charge, do you think? What do you think, boys?
Well, look, new manager bounce. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? I'm going to err on the side of realism here. I think we'll struggle to get anything out of the game, especially with the injuries we've still got. I'm going to say 3-1, but I'm going to hope for a better showing, some green shoots, and I'm going to stick with Big Dom as my scorer.
Okay, Graham?
So I'm miles behind in the prediction league, so I just need to have some out there predictions. But I do think there's going to be a new manager bounce, and I do think that there's an opportunity here to actually put a highlight into our season. So I'm going to say it's going to be a draw, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And the other thing that I'm pretty confident, shall we say, in this is that Igor Tudor was manager of Juventus when Kolo Muani was fantastic for Juventus. So I am going to say that the new coach is going to come in and revitalise Kolo Muani, and I think he's going to turn up on Sunday, and I think he's going to smash one in for us. So I think Kolo Muani is going to score the goal in a 1-1 draw against the Woolwich Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I also think there'll be a bit of a bounce, and like I said, it's a free hit. Let's hope we play with plenty of energy, and I'm going to be positive. I'm going to also go with a 1-1 draw, and I think it's going to be Xavi Simons.
It'd be nice to see him get on the score sheet.
Yeah, it would. I mean, he's been putting in some good performances lately. I think he has been one of those that has been a shining light throughout the last few weeks of the season. And hopefully, if we can get a more attacking kind of lineup and a more attacking mentality now that we've got the new manager, he will be one of those that really benefits from that.
And you've actually called it out there, Mark, because it's not necessarily the lineup, because let's face it, we haven't got a lot to choose from. It is the mentality, it is the approach. And look, he's got a good week. You know, he would like more, we all would, but he's got a good week to sort of get across what he wants from these players. And hopefully, as Graham was saying as well, you know, he does this. He goes into these places at short notice, and he gets the teams playing. So, you know, this should be his bread and butter. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, the players have had, I think, 4 or 5 days off, haven't they, after that Newcastle game? That was pre-arranged holiday for them, so they should be feeling a bit more refreshed. And yeah, like you say, I think we just want to see a bit of energy, a bit of attacking intent. And what I was going to say actually about your comments that Sheringham was making about him not having any Premier League experience or knowledge, it could actually work in his favour, because one of the big things that was against Thomas Frank was the fact that his priority was always on the other team. It was always focused on what the other team was doing and how we could stop the other team. Well, it will make sure that his laser focus is on our team. You know, if he doesn't have a great amount of knowledge on the other teams, then just focus on us, because I do still believe, as I've been saying, that we have the quality. So let's focus on us. Let's not worry about the other teams. Let's focus on what we do and how we can impact the game, and make other teams worry about us for a change.
Yeah,
It should be
absolutely.
a fantastic atmosphere in the stadium as well.
Oh, it'll be brilliant.
You know, I think, you know, he's going to get all the backing he needs.
100%.
Yeah, it will be rocking. It will be rocking.
Cool. So I think it's time for a bit of a Tom's teaser. Can you please play that jingle?
Teaser.
Right, chaps. Now, before we kick this off, I just want to direct people to a post that Graham put out on our Crowing Cockerel podcast Blue Sky account. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Go find it. But he compared the hiring of Igor Tudor to our own Tudor royal family, and even got a lovely screenshot of Liz 1. So go there, enjoy. It's a work of art. Well done, Graham.
Thank you. Thank you for the plug.
Yeah. It was well deserved. It doesn't get you any points, but with your Tudor-inspired royal family connection, I have based this quiz on, well, essentially our own royal family at Spurs. Of course, I'm talking about Ledley King. So this is the King quiz, and we're going to do things slightly differently this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you individually to give me the most facts you can about Ledley King in 20 seconds. But in family fortune style, I will be asking the first player to remove their headset so they don't get any clues. So we're going to go with Graham first. So, Mark, I need you to remove your headset and then I will give you a signal when you can come back on.
Okay, I'm not feeling confident about this, bearing in mind that usually Graham has a Ledley King shirt behind him, and I've already stated that I think he is one of the most overrated players in Spurs history. But anyway, I shall remove my headset now.
I mean, so his headset's off now. So I mean, we can berate him for that opinion all we like now. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, as we're moving up the social media and podcasting ladder slowly, and eventually we could have an opportunity to get Ledley King on the show. But unfortunately, if he
I think-
ever hears that statement, which is the most ridiculous statement that anybody has made on this podcast ever, then he isn't coming on, is he? So, but Ledley, I love you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Graham, there's you and me. We could totally outvote Mark to remove him from the podcast full time. Okay, so I've put 20 seconds on the clock. And just so you know, this was a list of 100 facts I got Meta AI to create for me. But I will make sure that they are correct before giving you the points that you've earned. So 20 seconds on the clock and your time starts now.
So he had the squad number 26. He scored the fastest goal in Premier League until very, very recently. And the third fact is that it was against Bradford. The fourth fact, it was away at Bradford. Fifth fact, it was within 6 seconds. He has a mural
Time
on Tottenham
is
High Road.
Up. Will I give you the mural? Will I give you? I'm going to leave that there. I mean, you lumped a lot on top of the fastest goal thing. And I at one point, I'm going to think, how far did you stretch that fact? But we'll welcome Mark back on.
No. I think it's perfectly reasonable to separate the level of that fact out.
So Graham got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 facts, but we'll cover that off when we obviously get your answers. Okay, Mark, it's your turn. We're going to have your facts about Ledley King in 20 seconds, and your time starts now.
Oh, Ledley, he's only got one knee. He's better than John Terry. Ledley. That's 2 facts. He captained Spurs, played for England. Where's number 26? He's now the ambassador at Spurs.
Stop. Your time is done.
Oh my God.
Quite well there.
I mean, what I now need is a Chelsea fan to come on and debate the fact that he's better than John Terry quickly, because ultimately I think I might have lost this. And I suppose semantics-wise, he has got 2 knees, just only one of them works appropriately. So,
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make a ruling on this immediately. Mark will get a point for saying he's only got 1 knee. He's not getting a point by saying he's better than John Terry, because that is subjective, even though, look, I'm not saying as a human being, but for the footballing thing.
Why would it not be in the song if it wasn't true?
Well, there we go.
I mean,
this is,
again, Mark,
if you're choosing to live your life by song lyrics.
I mean, Ozil's eyes were not always offside.
I mean, they were.
Again, I can't wait for you. I can't wait for the edit of this. Okay, so here were Graham's facts. He wears number 26.
Ooh, tick.
He originally scored the fastest Premier League goal, and then Graham kind of got stuck there.
Really?
He said, and that goal was at Bradford, and it was
fact.
away at Bradford.
It's not the
same
same fact. It's not the same fact. It's not the same fact. It's not the same fact. It's a number of different questions. Who scored the fastest Premier League goal up until quite recently? Ledley King. Where was the fastest Premier League goal scored? At Bradford. Who was it scored against? Bradford. 3 facts.
But both of those facts are not about Ledley King, though. They're just about Bradford.
But he scored it.
Okay, so I've only heard 2 facts so far.
So going through those facts, 26, I'm going to give you. Fastest goal, I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you that it was at Bradford, but I'm not going to give you that it was away at Bradford. It wasn't 6 seconds. It wasn't 6 seconds. It was 9. And you also said he has a mural. And we only have a few players that have got a mural, and absolutely he has. I'm going to give you that one. That is 4 points to Graham. Now, Mark, He's got one knee. Correct.
Fact.
He's better than John
Is
Terry.
it? No,
Subjective fact.
whoa. The man, fortunately, has two knees. He is able to walk unaided. He has two knees. It is an exaggeration massively to say he's only got one knee. He has not only got one knee, he has two knees. It's just that
Have you not
only one
listened
of
to the
those
song?
knees, only one of those knees was up to the standard to play elite level football on a regular basis without training.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think the Quizmaster's decision is final.
Right. Now, Mark's answers. Yes, he only had one knee.
Fact.
I can't do better than John Terry. It is subjective. Yes, he was captain. Yes, he played for England. Yes, he wore 26. Yes, he's the club ambassador. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Beats Graham's 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Well done, Mark. You are the winner of this week's Tom's Teaser. And you take the score from Mark, 14 points. Graham, 7.
Oh dear. It just shows what happens when you have to play by yourself.
Fine, move on.
And that was this week's Tom's Teaser.
Tom's Teaser.
Anyway, enough of this nonsense. What else have we got to talk about, boys?
Right, so we got to finish on a positive Spurs, haven't we?
Now everybody, haven't you heard? Here's a guy that can polish a turd. When you think you've got nothing to give, he'll stay positive. Positive Spurs.
So, the positive Spurs this week is really down to the fact that we have no other choice now than to absolutely get behind the team. The decision's been made. We've got what most of us wanted, which was Frank being replaced. We now need to win some games. We need to get behind the squad. The stadium, I think, is going to be absolutely rocking on Sunday. I think it's going to be a great event. I think it will just get us over the line on Sunday and get us a point, as I've already predicted. And I think the future will look brighter. I think this is as bad as it will get now. I predicted a second before the Champions League kicked off that was the best it was ever going to get. I meant we were going to compete in the Champions League final as well. But from that moment on, the team and everything around Tottenham Hotspur seems to have slid down that slide. But we've now hit the bottom. I think we're now on our way back up. So come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. I mean, Christ, if this gamble doesn't pay off, it really would be unthinkable, wouldn't it? And you know what? It still frustrates me how there's so many commentators that are even not really taking the fact that we're in trouble seriously. There still seems to be this belief that we are too big to go down, but you know, it simply isn't the case. So yeah, let's hope that Igor can come in and work his magic on the team, and yeah, we start seeing that upward trajectory very soon.
I mean, what I like about what you just said, Mark, is if all these commentators are saying Spurs are too big to go down, it does mean that West Ham and Nottingham Forest aren't too big to go down. So they must be smaller clubs. Just saying.
Just saying. I love it when Graham starts sort of, fronting up and winding up other clubs. It really does make my week. And I do think there is reasons to be positive now. Have you all seen the Tudor poem going around? Like that quite a lot. So yeah, there's no reason not to feel like this was the right appointment. A genuine manager with big club experience, and it might not happen against the Gunners, but I think, especially when we've got some players coming back, we've got enough. We've absolutely got enough.
Yeah. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
It's
going to be all right, right? It's going to be all right.
It's going to be fine. Come on, you Spurs.
All right, let's do this. North London derby. Let's smash them. Come on, you Spurs.